Hey everyone, Mark and Joey here on Saturday morning. Beautiful day outside. You're going to get some golfing, which is awesome. But also one of our favorite sports, which is horse racing. We've talked before, has one of our major events happening. Unfortunately, not a Triple Crown try, so it takes away a little bit. But this is still a major stake race today.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the Belmont, so you're going to get people showing up, and it's going to be a good race. You got War of Will, who's trying to go for 2 to 3, so a lot of storylines here. Obviously, a big purse for these owners and trainers, so and people are going to show up. I mean, it's Belmont. People show up all the time to Belmont. It's one of the most heavily bet tracks in the world, so it should be a great day regardless.
Yeah, and it's going to be fantastic out there. We just love these big events. It's amazing how many people come out and enjoy the sport. It's one of those things that hopefully attracts new fans as well, because a lot of people come out for the show on these big stake races. We're always looking for new fans in horse racing. We're starting to see a rejuvenation in horse racing. It's gone through its time with all the gambling you can now do online. You can do it in casinos. You can do it everywhere. In the good old days, which I remember you don't know anything about, because I think there's been casinos since you've been born outside of Vegas. For me, at one time, horse racing was the only betting sport there was, and the crowds were enormous. But the technology's taken over now. A lot of people are betting from home. A lot of people, have other options now. But horse racing is starting to get a resurgence, I'm finding, with crowds coming, younger people starting to come. All the racetracks have updated. I will mention, by the way, that Joey and I have probably visited 30 racetracks in North America over our time. And we're just about to put a travel blog together on each of those racetracks. So you can look for that. Father and Son Travel is the handle on Roku, and we'll be up on YouTube and all our normal places that we are. We're just putting it together right now, but we love going to the racetrack. We love being amongst the crowds. So beautiful. We went to Woodbine yesterday, which is the big track here in Canada, obviously, in Toronto. Just phenomenal. If you ever get here, you need to go to Woodbine. They're also putting up this massive new hotel and casino. They've doubled the casino within the racetrack. They've got tables there and everything now. It's really a destination. Toronto's always been a destination for travel, but Woodbine is now a destination to go to when you come to Toronto. It was a beautiful sunny day yesterday, and at the racetrack, there's nothing more beautiful. So we're going to encourage you to take time out and head to the racetrack rather than doing your online betting or doing something else, and enjoy some of these summer days out with some fantastic racing. And today at Belmont will be huge, in addition to just the Belmont Stakes.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's one of the heaviest bet tracks probably in the world, definitely in North America. It's one of the most famous. Always hosts the third leg of the Triple Crown, so it's had some iconic moments. And they get another race today along with a long schedule of, I think they got 13 races going, so it should be awesome. It should be lots of fun. Then obviously capped off in the 11th race with the big one with, like I said, not a Triple Crown, but obviously some storylines. You couldn't have a Triple Crown every year, but definitely some storylines, and hopefully, a lot of these owners and jockeys want to get the win. They want to get the purse money. So, they'll do a good job, and it should be a good race, and there's lots of good horses actually returning for this one.
Yeah, obviously as owners, and you're an owner of a horse now, part of an ownership, which is how a lot of horses are now owned, is by multi-partnerships. You need to make money. Horses cost money every month for training. One of the great things that you get out of owning a horse is you get to be an owner. You feel like you own, like the Raptors, or you own the Warriors. You own a horse that's out there racing. However, you also face, great revenues that can come in, and expenses and all that. It's like a real ownership, and you get to be part of that, which you can't do in any other sport. We encourage people to get involved in ownership wherever you can, and we are actually starting up. I will mention this, although we're going to launch it probably next week, a new racing club, which is going to include looking for mostly people who are new to the sport, who are not looking to spend a fortune to get in. We're going to make this very easy to get into, very inexpensive, and a chance to own horses and get yourself involved in horse racing. So we'll be talking about this next week. We're going to launch it, and we'll give you more information. But let's get back to the Belmont. As we talked about, the third of the Triple Crown, unfortunately not with that this year. Joe, let's look at some horses. We've been pretty hot on the horses we've been picking on our show here for the major stake races. And I know you're looking at a favorite today. You really like him.
Well, War of Will, it should be the one to really look at. He was actually the horse that was interfered with the Kentucky Derby by Maximum Security, and then he comes back and wins the Preakness.
So who knows without that interference, eh?
Mark Cassie's our trainer. Game. I just think it's the best storyline too. What could have been, right, is going to be the questions if he can go on to win today. I think he will. I think he's just too good. He looked really dominant in the Preakness, and I think he'll do the same today.
Yeah, it's really hard It's really hard to look
He's
past
a favorite
him.
for a reason.
Yeah,
he's got a great trainer, great jockey. So,
and the only thing about the Belmont, it is the longest of the races, so it does. A lot of horses don't race this long during their regular schedule, so it does open up kind of those hard to tell horses and ones that may get a chance to win a race at a pretty nice price. I'm looking for one of them, Bourbon War, that. Always like horses that have a drinking name involved. So I'm not anywhere near the alcohol stage, but I do like to have the odd drink. But I know that there's always owners, there's always toasting at the racetrack. Lots of that is involved in the sport, and people love it. You're outdoors, really enjoying the atmosphere, and it's part of that. So I love that. But I also really like that Mike Smith is on the horse. Mike Smith is an all-time jockey. I mean, he may be the best ever. There'll always be sports in horse racing. It's very difficult to pick the best ever because they're always racing at different tracks. It's not like in golf, for instance, they play the same tournaments every year. They play the same majors every year. Baseball, hockey, all that kind of stuff. They do the same thing every single year. But horse racing, they race at different tracks. They race on different horses. They've got stake races, regular races, like millions of things. So deciding who's the greatest jockey of all time in horse racing is very difficult. But Mike Smith has to rank way up there when it comes to that. So I'm going to go with Bourbon War. I'm also going to mention to people about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, horse racing tried to get a reality show started, and Mike Smith was the feature with she's a female jockey. Was a female jockey at Woodbine. I'm forgetting her name now. But anyway, if you ever want to look at Mike Smith and pull up his name, there was a reality show, lasted 2 seasons, I think. Francie Villeneuve, that's who it was. And they were living together, blah, blah, blah. Typical reality show. But they went to the racetrack. They were inside the jockey's room. It really gave you an inside look at what it's like to be a jockey. Talking to some of the jockeys that have had spills and injuries, just like in other sports. Even though more dramatic in a lot of cases, because, man, when you go down, there's a 1,200-pound horse that could be running right over you. So it's a very interesting series, and I encourage you to search Mike Smith in that TV series. Yeah, I think you would enjoy watching it. But anyway, that's just a side story to Bourbon War that I think could be a long shot in here today and really surprise.
Yeah, definitely. I like that one. I'm going with as my long shot, the horse from Japan, Master Fencer. If you're coming from Japan, you got a chance. In my mind, 8-1 right now. I'd like to probably see a big drop on him, I think, early on. Although I do know that the betting in Japan is separate of what you get over here as far as odds makers go. But they brought a horse over in the Kentucky Derby. He didn't run that well. They bring another one over here today. Japan goes nuts for their horses. They love it. I just think if you're bringing him over here, you're looking at a good race here. He's got a jockey that I don't know as well, but he's a good jockey, Julien Lepro. I think he can handle his horse just fine today. I think, like I said, the trainer, obviously good trainer over there, and then the ownerships to bring him over here and put him in this race. They got a lot of feels for him, and I really think he'll have a good race here today. I don't know much about him, but I'm thinking, hey, why not go for a Japan horse? You're going to get some odds on him probably. He's getting supported. He's decent. Otherwise, they wouldn't have
spent a lot of money to transport a horse over, get ready for one of these races.
Definitely.
And just the money to get into the race. They put a bunch of money into this horse. So you've got to always love shippers from Europe. Japan, I haven't really spent a lot of time on, but certainly shippers in from Europe, they can jump up and surprise you. You don't know that much about them. The jockeys don't know that much about them. So the competition is not sure what kind of racing they've done over there. But bringing those horses over, especially, have done well. Breeders' Cup has proven it every year as well. Definitely. Europeans come over and they can surprise. So I like that one as well. My other pick here is a spin-off. And again, we're going to go for a hot jockey-trainer combination. This is one of the tips you can always use in betting the races. You'll find some long shots in there. Again, because there's a lot of horses, a lot of good jockeys, a lot of good trainers. But when you put two together that are that hot, that are that good of jockey-trainer combination, they usually do special things. And you can quite often pick up a really great price on a horse like that. So look for spin-off, hot jockey, hot trainer combination. I think we got another shot there for some value, which is what I always look for. Joey does love favorites, and he's done well with those. I do like to find some value in there. That's why I picked the two horses I have. Joey would definitely have the horse that everybody's going to talk about today on the show. Don't forget to tune in if you can around probably around 4:30, 5 o'clock with the race going at 6 to 6:30. One thing with horse racing, you never know exactly the timing because There's going to be so much betting going on today. They may have to delay the race a little bit to allow everybody to get their wagers in. But in around that time.
Too, actually, it's projected to go. Sorry, real quick here. 6:37. I wouldn't be surprised if that went even later.
Almost
although they have about an hour already built in from race 10 to race 11 here. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. It's a long race today, guys. So you're getting your money's worth today.
Yeah.
I like long race for a couple reasons. One is, off the pace and front setters. It could just be a whole mix up. But I'll tell you one thing. They get a great day for it today. It's beautiful in New York.
Yeah.
The other 2 times haven't been great. So here we go. We got a beautiful day. Wide open field, really. I mean, we go with War of Will and Texas because they've been racing. But, I mean, who knows at this distance. I think War of Will's still the guy to get it done. But look at all these long shots. Take a chance on them.
There's a lot of strategy involved in
Irad Ortiz is on number 4 here. So, find something you like and go with it. I think, though, you got to include War of Will in your exotics.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Or to win for sure.
Yeah, but his short price. One of the fun things to do as a family when you've got a field full of stake horses, especially because you never know which one's going to step up. It's a fun thing to let the family pick some horses by their name. Our daughter and wife have had pretty good luck just sometimes picking by the name, so don't be ashamed to do that. It's a fun thing to do. The whole family can get involved. You have a cheering interest when you're watching the race, which is fantastic, and makes the race even more fun.
Definitely, and I think if I was going by name, I'd go with number 1, which is Jovia, because Joe's in it.
Yeah, you're going to be careful there.
Joe, so we'll see. We'll see 30-1, so I think you might want to include that one. But yeah, take a look at the names. I don't think you'll get off your alcohol name more. So anyways, those picks are locked in for us.
Yeah, I think so. But that's an interesting thing you talk about with the names and that kind of thing, which is kind of fun. You've actually done really well with horses named Joe. I don't know what it is about that, but
Joey
you got a high winning percentage. So even that's something to take a look at when you're at the track. So anyway, enjoy the day, enjoy the race, and watching the coverage. It's really interesting. The guys on TV will go through every horse in detail. You'll learn everything about every horse. You'll learn everything you need to know about horse racing. So if you've never done it before, get on TV tonight and watch the show. And we'll be back with a recap of that tomorrow. Yeah, so have a great day.